So what it means is that for this next generation cosmos, we don't have to go there. We can focus on all of the elements of science that made it matter to you as a citizen of the world.
Just to get into a procedural issue, some of the topics that you discuss are extremely hard to understand. And someone I know I was talking to before this mentioned that you have an amazing gift for explaining extremely complex phenomena in ways that suddenly are graspable to the layperson. And clearly that's something that you have a gift for and something you have to approach when you are making a TV show like Cosmos for a wide audience. Is there a trick to explaining dark matter, for example, to someone who has never heard that term before?
Oh, dark matter is really easy to explain precisely because we don't know anything about it. So that one's easy. So I give that one sentence. 85% of all the gravity that exhibits itself in the universe is traceable to some source about which we know nothing. We call it dark matter. We call it Fred. We don't know what it is. We don't even know if it's matter.
But don't you see, Dr. Tyson, when you have, on the one hand, science saying you're inestimably smaller than you thought you were, and then on the other hand saying 85% of the stuff out there, we don't know what it is, don't you think people are psychologically going to have a reaction to this like, why am I bothering with you anyway?
Yes, they might. However, part of what we also have to train people to do is to learn to love the questions themselves. If all you want in life are answers, then science is not for you. We have things that always give you answers to things, and like religion. Here's what will happen to you after death if you behave this way. This is what was going on before. This is what there's answers. It's all. Maybe there might be some deep, profound religious questions, but everyone I know who turns to religion is because they need answers. In science, on the frontier, the answers haven't come yet. That's why we have people working on the frontier, and so it's the frontier that excites a subset of the public, who are perfectly content, steeped in ignorance, because of the prospect that they might one day resolve the problem.
We're talking with Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is The Sound of Young America. I'm John Hodgman, sitting in for Jesse Thorne. As I mentioned, you appear on a number of television shows, and not that long ago you were on the Real Time with Bill Maher.
Just recently, yes.
And you were talking about the defunding of the James Webb Space Telescope, which I believe is the successor to the Hubble telescope. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. So let's listen to that for a second, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about that.
Well, first of all, let's clarify what the NASA budget is. Do you realize that the $850 billion, what was it, with the banks?
TARP.
Yes.
Bailout.
The bailout, the bank bailout. That sum of money is greater than the entire 50-year running budget of NASA.
Wow.
And so when someone says we don't have enough money for this space probe, I'm asking, no, it's not that you don't have enough money. It's that the distribution of money that you're spending is warped in some way, that you are removing the only thing that gives people something to dream about tomorrow. Do you remember the 60s? You remember the 60s and 70s? You didn't have to go more than a week before there's an article in Life magazine, the home of tomorrow, the city of tomorrow, transportation of tomorrow. All that ended in the 1970s. After we stopped going to the moon, it all ended. We stopped dreaming. And so I worry that decisions that Congress makes doesn't factor in the consequences of those decisions on tomorrow. Tomorrow's gone.
You know what?
They're playing for tomorrow, metaphoric tomorrow, not the literal tomorrow. They're playing for the quarterly report. They're playing for the next election cycle. And that is mortgaging the actual future of this nation. The rest of the world is going to pass us by.
Is there a culture or country or government that is as engaged with space as we were in the 60s and early 70s, or in the way that you would like us to be engaged now? Is there anyone who's doing it right?
China.
Yeah.
Yeah. their space program is still in its infancy, but they're taking it very seriously, and they recognize it as a point of national pride, as did we, of course, in the 1960s, and a demonstration of the success of their system of society and government and management. So, we should not be surprised that other nations are valuing their space enterprise the way we once did and the way we would ultimately simply take for granted.
So if you were given the funds to refund NASA, to what level would you want to fund it? And what would you set as a priority?
I would double its budget, first of all.
From what to what?
So right now, actually just dropped this last cycle, but I would double it from what it once was. So it was up around 19 billion. Mm-hmm. So I'd go, let's say, to 40 billion.
Per minute.
Per year.
Per year, okay.
And I would create the capacity to go anywhere you wanted to go. Is it strap-on boosters? Is whatever it is. You want to go to Mars today? That's the 3 of these rockets and 4 of those. Strap them on, get in the top, and you're off. Oh, there's an asteroid headed our way. Let's check it out. That's a different configuration. But you have the modularity to pull that off.
So you're talking about like a modular IKEA-style rocket.
It's been a while since I've been in IKEA.
Where you can build a wall unit that's suitable to your collection of CDs.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And in that way, you just pick the destination that matters in the moment.
Well, what destination matters? I mean, it seems to me that if what we're missing is an arbitrary goal vis-a-vis the moon, or a la the moon, I should say, to inspire us psychologically and then pay us all of these technological dividends, isn't the choice of goal meaningless?
Our presence in space should not be pivoted on goals. It should be pivoted on capacity to explore.
Okay.
And so it'd be like saying, we're going to build an interstate system so that you can get to Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's why we built it.
Okay. But there's many other.
Was there another one? Was Eisenhower secretly drawing a picture of a cat across the nation that we didn't see?
The spider veins on.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that in a time of, as you say, existential anxiety about where we are as a country at all, to ask for increased funding for something where people feel it's incredibly intangible, to explore a cosmos that we are told is greater than we could ever explore.
That's an excellent point.
And does not care about us. There are going to be people who ask, where should we go and why does it matter?
I would say if you had one target,
yeah,
and then you got to that target,
yeah,
then it's like, okay, what do you do now? That's kind of what happened to the moon. Kennedy says, we're going to go to the moon. Then he shot. And so then everyone goes to the moon. We get to the moon. It's like, okay, bring a car next time. All right, let's play golf. All right. At some point, what's the next step? And the next step was not built into the Apollo program. And so yes.
What should it have been?
It's harder to get people to rally around a non-gold goal. You're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head there. But we need to reach a maturity where we say this capacity to explore space will bring us Mars. It'll bring us the moon. It'll bring us asteroids. It'll bring us Venus. So that's the capacity that I want. Then we find a killer asteroid coming. Let's send Bruce Willis. Whatever you got to do, we got the capacity to go there. Go there. Go to Venus. Find out why it's a runaway greenhouse. Go back to the moon. There might be fossils of ancient Earth life on the moon cast into space from asteroids that hit Earth long ago. Now
you got me going. Now I'm interested.
Well, I'm saying.
That's all I needed to hear.
Can you imagine that?
Fossils on the moon.
Multi-billion-year-old fossils, far older than anything we would ever find on Earth, because our continents keep getting subducted into volcanoes.
As long as you keep feeding me premises for science fiction novels, I will keep funding NASA. How about that?
Well, that's an interesting point.
It's the Sound of Young America. I'm John Hodgman, in for Jesse Thorne. My guest is the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. You want to hear something out of left field?
What?
I need to know your opinion on the singularity. Yes or no?
Oh, it's
just for our listeners. Do you want me to recap what we're talking about here?
Sure. Why don't you give plus you had some you had a little thing going with it, didn't you?
I have a robot arm. That's what you mean.
Give your thing, and I'll tie a bow on it. Go ahead.
Well, the singularity is a cultural concept, I would say, even more than it is a scientific concept at the moment. It is a futurist concept that is emerging and largely advocated or discussed in public by the inventor Ray Kurzweil, that due to Moore's law, that computing doubles in capacity, every year? What is it?
Every year and a half.
Every year and a half.
I have to repeat that. Hang on. Every year and a half. Mm-hmm.
Every year and a half, correct. That technology that artificial intelligence will, sooner than we think, be able to replicate a human brain. And then once it does that, sooner than we think, artificial intelligence will become smarter than the human brain. And then that artificial intelligence will be able to solve some of the problems that still elude the human brain, most notably or provocatively, the mechanical process of aging, such that it could either be slowed or stopped, or consciousness transferred into technology itself, and that we will sooner rather than later pass through a period of no return in history called the singularity, where essentially we'll have moved to a different kind of species, one that combines biological intelligence with artificial intelligence, and biological life with biomechanical life. This is also tied into gene therapies and miniature robotics and that sort of thing.
That's a beautiful summary.
And that after that, the point of the singularity is not merely that we will become robots, or the robots will take care of us and make us immortal, or that nanobots will be developed that will cure all diseases, so much as we don't know what will happen once artificial intelligence is able to sort of retrofit a human brain of its own. And when that happens, and it will happen sooner than we think, everything will be different, and we'll reach a point in history where what happens after that is unimaginable to those of us who come before.